the legacy to me means you want to be able to do what you're supposed to do. Be an amazing dad, amazing uncle, amazing brother, cousin, son. You want everybody to be proud of you for the good things you're doing, not for some stuff you're not doing. Every single day you wake up, you got to put in that work and the good things to happen.
Welcome back to another episode of The Burn. I am Ben Newman, and you know how we do this every single week. We're going to bring you a story of an athlete, an entertainer, a celebrity, somebody from the business world who helps us understand that why and purpose is not enough. It's that underlying burn that ignites your why and purpose and causes you to show up on the days you don't feel like it, and especially after you win. And from time to time, we have guests on that have done a lot of winning. But today we get to have a dear friend of mine. We went to school together at Michigan State, Spartan Dogs for life, the same years. And not only was he part of some unbelievable winning as an athlete at Michigan State University, but he is now gone since a couple stops in between, but has come back to Michigan State to become part of more and more and more winning since 2012 as a coach. And Dr. Lorenzo Guess, I would tell you, is a one-of-one type personality. And I've never said this to him, and he didn't know that I was going to say this. But I remember when Coach Manny was still there, and I came back with Caleb Thornhill, our brother Caleb, and I was helping Caleb doing some work in the community in Lansing. We were helping some underprivileged kids that were going through a football program that he ran. And Zoe and I believe we had met around the time when we were in school, but we really didn't spend much time together. But I walked in that day, and he welcomed me with a smile. We chopped it up. I mean, you would have thought we were the best of friends, and I thought, it was so unique, the personality, the fire, the energy. You can see it in his smile. And I just want to encourage everybody, the attitude that you show up with in life will help you win. I'm going to say that again. The attitude you show up with in life will help you win. And Zoe, for you, Zoe, Dr. Guess, I mean, I get to call all kinds of names as a friend, but I just want to tell you, like your energy. I remember that day when Manny was still there, all those years ago when I did that camp with Caleb. And I appreciate how you show up and what you do for so many in this world.
I remember that day too. I remember the camp. I thought that was an amazing thing I was doing for the kids. And I was trying to find a way. Well, your energy was amazing too. So it was easy to talk to somebody with great energy. And then also y'all was helping the kids. And I thought that was an amazing opportunity to help kids that need help. Now trying to find a way to help y'all out as much as I can, and for the guys, you and Caleb and Travis for helping new kids out too.
Yeah, and you know, and that's what I think is so interesting about just individuals that go to Michigan State, and you hear things at different schools. You know, once a Spartan, always a Spartan. Spartan Dogs for life. You know, you hear these things, or the Spartan way. There really is something about the connection to Michigan State. I feel like it's that underdog personality. No matter how much is accomplished, it's like somebody's telling you that, like, man, you're not good enough. And you've been part of it as a student athlete. I want to go through a few things just to really highlight this, because a lot of times when we do episodes, I don't do a lot of bio, but Lorenzo's bio is so significant that I think it's important that we do. So go all the way back to when he was playing at Michigan State. You hardly ever see two-sport athletes anymore. So he was a two-sport athlete. He was a 4-year letter winner with the football program. He was part of the team with Bill Burke, who, you know, we've had Bill Burke on the Burn before. Mm-hmm. Bill and Burris and all those guys. They went and brought Michigan State and put them back on the map with Coach Saban all the way to number 5 in the country. Dr. Guess was the safety on the team that beat Florida in that Citrus Bowl. Then he was part of two Big Ten titles and a Final Four on the basketball team with Coach Izzo. So I'm telling you, like when you go back to, and we were in school at the same time, when you go back to the winning that he did as a student, then there was this energy, passion, hard work to say that's not enough. Then goes into coaching. Fast forward to today, he's got the prestigious position as the assistant AD and director of athletic performance. And in 2022, Coach Izzo welcomed him back as the head strength and conditioning coach, where you get to help those guys get after it in the Draymond Green Performance Center. But I just wanted to paint those bookends for everybody of the success that you've had for so long. So before we even talk anything Spartan related, we've talked so many times, long obedience in the same direction with aggressive patience, the conversations, the times at Michigan State when I was back with the football program or the basketball, just great conversations we've had. How have you sustained? Tell us about your burn. Where does that come from for you to be able to have locked in for this long at that level?
That's a great question. So my burn is from where I came from is when I grew up, it was I grew up in a single parent home. So my brother, my twin brother, who passed away in 2019, my sister and my little brother. So throughout my whole process, my burn was to show people that where I'm from, you can have a better life. And then also to do things that people in my family have never done. And I always want to be the best at what I do. So I always try to find a way to continue to push, no matter if I'm successful or not successful, I'll try to find a way. And then what also got me was when I wrote my dissertation. So at one point I wrote the dissertation. So little story. That Friday that COVID shut everything down was the day I turned my dissertation in. I thought it was done. So I turned to my advisor. My advisor never really emailed me or called me back. So he emailed me immediately back. And I'm thinking like, well, man, I'm done with the dissertation. I'm done. I'm finally finished. I'll be a Dr. Guess. He told me, no, you got to start over because you skipped some steps. And so then I was upset. And I was pissed. I was just super upset. I'm like, man, all right, what I got to do? Talk to one of my advisors here, Dr. Taylor. He told me to come up with a different topic. So I came up with a different topic, wrote it like a 50-page paper. The beginning of it, and I gave it to him. He told me it was not doctoral work, start over. So at that point, I was ready to quit. And my daughter told me, my daughter, Nadia Guess, she said, Daddy, you can do this. Just do it for me. And so now that's part of that for sure my burn, because my thing is I want to make sure my daughter see us doing what we're supposed to be doing, be successful. But at the same time, when I don't want to do something, I do it for my wife and my daughter. My wife we moved from 2002 to 2026. We moved 14 times. So if I decide I don't want to do something, I feel sorry for myself, my burn is my wife, Bianca Guess, Dr. Bianca Guess now, and Nadia Guess, and then my brother who passed away in 2019. So if he was here, he'd be doing everything with me. But since he's not here, I always got to say, well, if I feel sore one day, I don't feel like working out, or I don't feel like going to work, he can't do it because he ain't here. So my burn is to get things done for my family because they all have my back from day one.
This episode of The Burn is brought to you by our dear friends and partners at QLogix. Now, you know I don't co-sign things I don't believe in, and I believe in John Chiarando and the team at QLogix. He's built multiple 9-figure businesses, real integrity, real character, the kind of guy you want in your corner. But here's what happened. All that expertise, all that knowledge, it was just his. Locked in his head, his decisions, his team, you couldn't access it. So John created QLogix. He basically said, how do I make everything I've built available to people who actually need it? Here's what that looks like. QLogix helps you see the blind spots in your business, the gaps you don't even know you have. You don't know what you don't know. They're your tour guide through that. QLogix helps you build systems that make your business work better, or they ask better questions so you're approaching it in the most effective way. And QLogic has access to a network of businesses and resources, real connections, real synergies that can accelerate what you're building. If any of that resonates, go to q-logics, logix.com/Ben. Fill out a form. Their team will research your situation personally. Then they'll tell you straight, can they actually help? Thank you to our friends and partners at QLogics. Make sure you find out more about QLogics and your opportunity to win more with them today. I absolutely, I love hearing that from you, and to honor your family. It's interesting because you had mentioned something that really ties, and you lived this in your home. But you had mentioned a recent conversation with Coach Izzo, where you had mentioned that he had said, "Hey, like this ain't about you talking to players. It's about those who came before you and those came after." And it's interesting. It's almost like that's the philosophy you've lived within your house. Like the moment Nadia was like, "Dad, do this for me," it's like, wait a second. Like this isn't so that I could be Dr. Guess. This is to be an example for Nadia, who then becomes an example for your future grandchildren, and way bigger than you, as opposed to, I think sometimes we become selfish in the state. It's like, no, I want that doctorate so people can call me Dr. Guess.
Yeah.
It became all about something bigger than you, right?
Yeah. Which is crazy because, yeah, she said, ain't nobody tell her to say it. She just said, I want you to get it done. And I just like hit a trigger. And they're like, what? Hit a switch. And I'm like, what? I got to get it done. So I was getting up all through COVID for like another year and a half. I got up at 3:15 every morning to write this paper. And then you remember this. So the Ken Walker's game against Northwestern, that first touchdown, the first handoff he got, we ran for a touchdown. That Tuesday, I defended my dissertation. So I talked to coach about missing practice,
Wow.
and then coach was like, no. I said, coach, can I just come late to practice? He said, no, miss practice. I said, no, I can't miss practice. Like if I'm just sitting there missing practice, I'm gonna lose my mind. So I went to practice for a minute, defended my dissertation for like 3 hours. They called me. They going through the whole process. I'm thinking like, man, I'm about to fail this because well, nobody give me no positive feedback or positive body language. Then they finally say, "Yep, you're Dr. Guess. Now you got to adjust your paper a little bit, and then you'll be all set." So I ran out that room, ran back to practice, told coach I got it done, and he stopped practice and told everybody, "Now y'all, this is Dr. Guess for the rest of y'all life. This is Dr. Guess at practice." I'm like, man, so it was crazy.
I love calling you Dr. Guess, even like when you were, came through our coach to coaches program, and just so like, I love it because it's one of those things like when I call you Dr. Guess, but you are Dr. Guess, it's that sacrifice. Cause I think a lot of people listening, they reach certain levels of success and they just stop. I mean, look at your resume. I mean, even before you went back to Michigan State, working for Brian Kelly, being at Notre Dame, Cincinnati, I mean, all these great stops. You could be like, man, now I'm back at Michigan State. We're winning. We're winning football games again. We're winning basketball games again. You could have said, what do I need to go get a doctorate for? But I think for everybody listening, I hope that Dr. Guess serves as an example for you that don't be content. Don't be seduced by success, not just in your winning or dollars, but in everything. And isn't it amazing if you're really paying attention, the biggest impact and then the final push came from his daughter. And how many times have you heard me talk about those little eyes that are watching you? Well, Nadia's little eyes were watching and hearing Dad's words about having to do something over again when most people never get started once. So this is what I'm telling you guys about the energy and the passion and the fight. So speed forward to today. What are you loving most about coaching? There have been so many changes. I mean, if you go from when you were a player to now, and the significant changes and complexities from brands and NIL and the transfer portal, how are you continuing to show up every day with great energy? What have those changes been like for you? Because when I watch what happens in the basketball program, and I remember being back 2021 and 22 doing some work speaking to the basketball team, and like Coach Izzo, and you've maintained these standards. How is that?
Well, it's hard now because like this is I want to say the landscape is a little different. So recruiting is way different also. So now, when you recruit some people are fixated on the dollar. So what we do, we recruit the kid, recruit the family, and then tell them like what we're trying to do. And the thing about coach is, coach been here for 30, this is 31st year, I think. And
Unbelievable.
we have like I said earlier before our game, coach said it's not about you. It's about the guys before you and the guys after you. Now you are the ones that got to play the game, but you got to play for the guys before you and after you and the guys in this room. So that's what we talk about all the time. And coach talk about we're gonna be different. And being different mean play for each other. We're not just playing because you get NIL money. You're not just playing because you're on TV. You're gonna play for your teammates and good things to happen. And that's the culture we have, and that's what we do every day. Like we spend time with the kids spend time with each other. We spend time with the guys. It's really it's really a family atmosphere because we're here for them, they're here for us. We with them all the time. They with us all the time. It's kind of it's a lot, but that's what we do. Now, as far as coaching them, the coaching part of me is really the same as I've been since I've been here. I just coach the kids, and like treat them like I treat my nephew, or treat like I treat my son that I don't have. I coach them. I coach them and teach them because my thing is we are the last line of defense for these kids. So when they
Mm.
leave up out of college, that's it. Now you got to come up with your own schedule. You got to find a way to get paid. You got to find somewhere to get something to eat. Like right now, they're in this bubble, this little tiny little bubble, and we help them and teach them how to and tell them how to do everything. So my thing is they can make as much money they want to make. They can have all the NIL they want to make, but I want to make sure that when they're done here, that they are independent and successful. Not the kid, a person will call you back and say, well, can you call such and such for me? Can you do this for me? I'll do it for them, but I want to teach them how to do that stuff. So when they're done, they can do it on their own. And then about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I talked to a parent, it was sweet. He said, I want the what do you call it? I want the stick kid, not the boomerang kid. The boomerang kid would go out and go to college and come back home. He said, I want the stick kid, and I throw the stick out. He'd never come back unless he come back for holidays or family reunion. So that's why I try to talk about. We do player develop. I do player development stuff with them. I train them. I got guys come here 3 times a week doing extra stuff. So we get to spend more time with these guys than anybody else. So I'm trying to make sure that, hey man, you're gonna be a grown man. You leave here, not a 22-year-old boy.
So I'm going to give you two examples. I didn't intend on asking this, but from what you just said, because it's what I've seen. So you give the boomerang versus somebody that can stick to it and go make a life of their own. So I think about the last time that I was there in person speaking to the basketball team. Carson Cooper and Jackson Kohler were freshmen, and
Yes.
now these guys have stayed the course.
Yeah.
These are grown men that have stayed and been committed when they could have gone other places.
Hmm.
And when you said that, those are two guys that just popped in my mind. Those are two prime examples. Those are kids from where I remember men, when I remember them as freshmen, when I'm in the locker room speaking to them, to what I see now. These are kids like they're going to go be successful no matter what they do in life. If that ball stops bouncing at
Hmm.
the end of this year, or they go on to play overseas or in the NBA, when that ball stops bouncing, those are two guys I think of because of their work ethic. They're going to be just fine.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, them two guys here, they got Fears, Cohen. They say third year. So the goal, like our goal, like coach's goal, is try to keep the guys here like Purdue. Like we just played Purdue yesterday. They got Lawyer, they got Braden, they got Kaufman Rand, all them dudes, they've been there for 3 or 4 years or two. So our program is very similar, which was like yesterday's game was amazing. And you didn't want the game to end and you didn't want nobody to lose because we both have the same type of culture. Like we want to keep the guys here and develop them throughout the years.
But speaking of development, I got one fun question I got to ask, and then we're going to get serious and we're going to talk about green marches because you really began. So everybody sees this long run of this will be 26 or 27 years in a row making the NCAA tournament, the longest run. You were on the first team that started all
Yeah,
of these runs. So like when you talk about green march, there might not be anybody better than Lorenzo Guess to tell you why marches are green and why Izzo dominates in March. But before we get there, I've got a fun question on development. A guy like Cohen Carr, and if anybody listening does not know the name Cohen Carr and you like the game of basketball, you've been living under a rock somewhere. Because this young man is such an amazing athlete, hard worker, constantly
Mhm.
working. But the way that young man jumps and attacks the rim, how do you take from a strength and conditioning standpoint? How do you get that guy to jump even more? Like, what are because everybody, when people are great, it comes down to the 0.001% that you're
Mhm.
willing to attack and work on. So when you're that great, you as a strength coach could go, oh, he's got it. There ain't nothing for me to do. Nobody flies like this kid. How do you attack the next level with a young man that has that type of dynamic athleticism?
Well, first of all, that's like when you're in football, you want the guys, the fast guys. So you, as a coach, you're a speed coach. But like Cohen is a phenomenal athlete. What helped him is he ran track in high school. He played a little bit of football and he played basketball. So he already know how to run, and he already a dynamic athlete. So what we do is I train him hard. I train him hard, so ain't no I'm gonna just let him get slide through the cracks because he already a freak athlete. I train him. I push him. I train him very similar to I train the football guy. I load his weight up. I got to apply messages with him during in between his work exercises, and I force him to be a leader in the weight room. So uh, sometimes I make him go say something to his teammates. So they get it from him, not just from me. So now he's a voice for the guys. Same with Fears. So I say something with Fears. Fears already he's a leader. He's been a leader his whole life. So I say something to Fears. I say something to Coop and Jax, our older guys, to help them guys have a voice. So when we in the game, like last night, when the game like Ohio State, when it's time to make a play, when they say something, the guys are used to hearing their voice. But to get Cohen, like add another inch to Cohen vertical, I just pushed him. I just pushed him and just didn't let him get away with anything, and just made it. It was easy, like because like sometimes them guys they slip through the cracks. People don't want to coach them because they're already freak athlete. I push him harder than I push anybody else.
All right, so I want to capture that. So for any leader listening, I don't let anything slip through the cracks, and I make him work harder. That right there, as a leader, when you have somebody who's great, having a coach or a leader that cares that much, that becomes the difference. Because you and I both know it. There has been plenty of talent that has come through the doors of Michigan State. But one of the things I love about Coach Izzo, and I'd love for you to speak to this, there's a lot of programs where they allow their confidence to come from talent.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Izzo has done an extraordinary job all the way back to when you played to what we see now of taking talented, very athletic individuals, but not allowing their confidence to come from talent, coupling their talent with extreme levels of discipline to create confidence that leads to winning championships. That for me, like when I look, I'm like a green mark. That's what it is. It's the
Mm-hmm.
discipline, it's the character. What have you seen from player to now coach with Tom Izzo that has allowed you to be part of this continued winning at the highest of levels?
First of all, coach is like very deep. But coach and his staff is they super detailed on the game plan. Anything got to do with basketball, they super detailed and kids' lives. So the coaches know the kids' parents, know the now agents, the girlfriends, the brothers and sisters. So we know everything about our athletes and their family life and academics. So we make sure we stay on top of everything. Um, and then like with coaching we get we get talented recruiting classes. Now we can't say that we don't get no talent. We get talent. But what coach do is like I said about Cohen, we grind them. We push them. We don't let anything slip through the cracks. We hold them accountable. We teach them how to play defense, teach them how to play offense, teach them how to pass the ball, how to dribble. And to our guys, since my teen class all the way through, they in the gym working. Like you practice, but before practice, you in there 30 minutes before practice, and a lot of times you're in 30 minutes after practice working your craft. That's ingrained in our culture from since 97, 96 that I know of. So you got talent, but what you gonna do with your talent? And we are Coach Izzo's thing is we gonna get as much as we can get out your talent and then push you to be better than what you was when you got here. And they know it. The guys, that's the culture. The guys know when they get here. The guys here know it, and then we have grind week. Older guys come back. They remind everybody that that's our culture. We tell guys we recruit them like this is what we want. This is who we are. Some people don't come here because they don't want that life. But I'm glad they don't because we don't want them here. We want the guys who want to get that work in and find a way to win in life and on the court.
Well, two final questions. First one still related to basketball, and the second one is gonna be about the legacy of Dr. Lorenzo Guess, which you and I have had conversations about that before up there at East Lansing. But the first question, as you turn to tournament time, March is right here. I mean, this episode will drop in March for March Madness, another Green March. How do you approach it as a coach? Like, are there changes that you make? Do you raise the intensity? Do you keep things the same? How do you approach when you look at March knowing what lies ahead?
What we do here is we raise the intensity. Because now you know is one and done. And the details, we gotta attack the details because the details are what's the difference between you winning the game by 1 point or losing the game by 1 point, or you moving on to the next round, or you going home and the season over with. So game plans are detailed. We work out the workouts we do here are specifically for what we're trying to get through. I can't be doing a hard workout trying to kill them, and then we got a big game 2 days later. So everything is very detailed on what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is trying to win and move on to the next round. And then with the guys too, they know what's going on. They know we playing against. They know everything about the team, and then now it's time to play.
I cannot wait to watch you guys attack another Green March. And like I shared before we hit record, hey, it's a blessing. We got some regionals here in St. Louis, so I need that NCAA committee to make sure that the Michigan State Spartans pass through St. Louis, Missouri, so I get a chance to see all you guys. But last question, and I mean I could chop it up with you all day long. It's always been that way when we connect. But the last question I have is you mentioning Bianca and Nadia and your brother. What does legacy mean to you when people look back on this history of winning and life and being a great father and husband and so committed to what you've done for your life? What does legacy mean to you?
Man, it's crazy you said that. So I get to do a presentation of the summary of the summer to our coaches, the kids' parents. It's like a little banquet for MSU Madness. So before MSU Madness, you have a banquet, and then I get to do this presentation about the whole review of how the summer went, how the guys' bodies changed, social pictures, and I had a slide in there of all the if you come to the president on one of the walls, you have all of the Big Ten championships, rosters and coaches names on there. So my daughter, I was a fourth grade little league basketball coach, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh grade basketball coach. So the sixth grade year, we go to a women's basketball game because I'm a girls team, women's basketball game. So we walk out, and then my daughter at the time, she wasn't very vocal. She didn't even talk to nobody that much, but she grabbed the whole team and walked them over to these plaques, and she said, "That's my daddy right there."
Oh.
And I was like, "What?" Like I heard and I got that lump. I'm like, "What?" And then and I ain't really think nothing about it before, but when she said that, like she proud of me. So So I took a picture of that of last year's plaque, or in my plaque there too, said you to the like showed to my guys and said what legacy you want to leave. So do you want to be the parent, the proud dad that come back here and your kids say this is my daddy, or just come back here and not say anything? So the legacy to me means you want to be able to just do what you're supposed to do. Be a amazing dad, amazing uncle, amazing brother, cousin, son, and then want everybody to be proud of you for the good things you're doing, not for some stuff you're not doing. So every single day you wake up, you got to put in that work, and the good things that happen.
Coach, doctor, so many names that you have earned. Thank you, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your example, and thank you for showing us all what it means to be a Spartan dog for life. Your continued commitment to the university, to the men, to your purpose is just awesome, and I feel blessed to call you a friend and appreciate you joining us on the Burn. I joked before we hit record. I'm like, man, we've had you on the Mental Toughness Forum. You've been on all these, like, why have we waited so long for the Burn? But hey, maybe that's just a little foreshadow for another special March that's coming. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you so much.
Oh, thank you. I got something to tell you. I ain't told you this yet, Ben. I had a book that just came out. Um, the dojo decision for basketball and life. Me and myself and Tim McDermott. It's on Amazon.
Oh, okay. So we're going to make sure we will link that in the bio. We'll make sure that everybody can get a copy. Hey, when the standard came out, man, I delivered a signed copy to you, man. Like, where's my books?
It's coming. It's coming. I got you. I got you.
Hey, much love always. Congratulations on the book. So we will make sure that is in the link to the notes to make it easy, and all the ways to stay connected with Dr. Guess. But go attack another green March, and I appreciate you, and Spartan Dogs for life.
Man, let's go. Go green.
Go white.
Thank you.
Everybody listening, this is what the Burn is all about. This is living life. This is relationships. This is doing things not for a quick win, but for a commitment over the long haul. And you see that in Dr. Guess's story. And that's why we bring you the Burn every single week, for you to hear stories of individuals who've realized, yes, why and purpose is important, but you find that Burn, and it's amazing the things you can achieve in your life. Thank you for joining Dr. Guess and I on the Burn, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.